Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Here's how you can get paid to borrow 23 grand as a student. So here's an email with the Office of Financial Aid. I maxed out mine personally. I had 64 bucks left and I took that too. 32 bucks each semester doesn't hurt. So here's how you can get $23,000 interest free or up to 23K. Immediately you're gonna think, wow, it's loans, it's gonna have interest, it's gonna be haram, not allowed. But here's two verses from Surah Baqarah, supporting that interest isn't allowed. I didn't add the Arabic in consideration of anyone that might be in the bathroom. It's a little more complex than that because it falls under the same rulings as credit cards, where if you don't have any balance within 6 months of graduation, there's no interest to be accrued. Um, Credit cards, as long as you don't have any balance at the end of the month after your statement and payment due date and all that, then again, no interest. So it's up to you. You can ask a local scholar to do further research. But basically, it's called a federal subsidized loan, and you either have um, demonstrated financial need as a dependent or an independent, as long as you're an undergrad. Doesn't really matter. If you were looking for unsubsidized loans where you do pay interest, then yeah, it would matter if you're dependent to your parents, but not for this one. So basically, it's your cost of attendance and then you subtract your suggested aid index, which could be a negative number, and then you end up with your demonstrated financial need. Some stats on the right as well. So that's the majority of people, is essentially what I'm saying. It's like maybe half people that would be able to apply for this type of loan. Um, so the limits are $3,500 if you're a freshman in credits, and then $4,500 if you're a sophomore, and then if you're junior, senior, or above, you're able to get 5,500, and that's every single year. The lifetime limit is 23 grand, and then the typical timeline, just going on freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, you get a progression that gets you about 19 grand. Uh, so that's cool. It's super useful. But what's the actual point of it? You can use the money and then pay it back, right? Obviously, if you have actual costs, it's interest free, and you're able to, you know, ensure that you're able to meet whatever housing, food, and whatever else you have related to school. Or you could actually just stash in a halal savings account and then pay back at the very end. Regardless of which path you choose, you're paying back less at the very end. So you're actually profiting from it regardless, right? Um, so the math behind that is inflation. So basically, you're borrowing 19K, let's say, right? And because inflation is actually decreasing the value of the money actively, by the time you pay it back, it's going to be worth about $1,250 less, right? So that means you're only paying back 17,752, which is, great. Assuming an average annual inflation rate of 3%. During quarantine, it reached like 8%, and then obviously there's like shrinkflation and all this other stuff. People say it's higher than 3%, but if we're being, conservative, you're saving 1250 just by paying it back, using the money now and then paying it back later, assuming you did nothing else, right? And here's where the actual arbitrage method is. If you choose to not use it towards your living expenses, you can just stash it into a halal savings account, and you get 4.5% APY on it, or annual percent yield, right? So because you're taking out another loan essentially every year, the percentage math is a little weird, but you end up profiting like 1,800 bucks just by holding the money and putting it in a savings account, forgetting about it, right? Doing it in your sleep, nothing else, and then you pay it back at the very end. That's including the 1% fee that they take out. Just because like they gave you the money, they have some processing costs. They take 1% of whatever they give you, and then they make you pay back the whole 100% though. So basically, adding up those two numbers together, the 1,200 bucks that you get regardless, just by not having to deal with I'm trying to think, not having to deal with the money right now. You're paying the same back, exact same nominal value back later, but it's gonna be worthless at that time due to inflation. And then the 1,800 bucks that you could have made, or that you hopefully will make from holding it in a high yield savings account or the halal equivalent, which is a halal deposit account, then you end up with $3,088 made interest free. And what you're meant to be doing now is talk to your financial aid office if this is interesting to you. Fill out your master promissory note or something, whatever. I filled it already. It's just on student.gov, and they also have a 10 to 15 minute course. Do it. Make sure that you're like aware of everything that you're getting yourself into before you sign off on it, and then you create a UIF halal deposit account if that's the path you want to take. Otherwise, you could just take the interest-free financing for your your student lifestyle, and then you pay the money back, and then you're all good. All right, thanks for watching. Help me get an actual microphone and get monetized. Share for Barak and Faida. We're all gonna make it, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.